8 showed up. So I need 15 people at this last one of these.
So what's the deadline to sign up for the last one?
Well, the last class is June 19th, so I really want to hit on that, and then I'll hit on the Class B, and then I'd also like to hit on the motorcycle a little bit, because our numbers are way down on that.
And the reason I asked about the deadline, I got a friend who called me past 2 days. I've been dealing with my mother-in-law. Had to have a heart procedure, so I haven't been able to get back to him.
I'm sorry.
He kept saying, I need to get into that heavy equipment operator class.
Well, and I need people that are going to commit and show up.
And that's what I think he will do,
Okay,
because he's been bugging me about it.
awesome.
Yep, he was getting it for
Oh,
us.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Competency based, I gotta remember that word. I always forget that word when I'm put on the spot, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Digital radio.
Crystal clear sound.
KBBG FM 88.1 water.
So, if that's okay, if I hit on the Class B, the heavy equipment and motorcycle?
Yep.
I mean, I'll talk a little bit about the flagger and the telehandler and the telescopic
Oh,
platform.
whatever you need to. Very good. 3, 2, 1. Good morning and welcome to Opening Doors. I'm your host, Warren Wortham, the manager for the Martin Luther King Jr. Center of Hawkeye Community College. We have a great show lined up for you this morning, but before we get into our show, I do want to mention some opportunities at the Martin Luther King Jr. Center. First of all, for those of you that are interested in taking a compass test, we now offer compass testing. So if you want to get scheduled for compass testing, please give us a call at 319-296-4440. We also offer nurse aid classes as well as rehabilitation aid classes, and these are great opportunities if you're looking to get your first taste of the health sciences field. So for more information on that, please give us a call at 319-296-4440. We also now have free tutoring that goes along with the compass testing, and it's called the Hawkeye Community College Compass Preparatory Academic Lab. And this is a free tutoring program that has a live tutor on site along with a software-based tutoring system. And it's a great opportunity to get your compass scores up or to prep for the compass test. So if you want more information on that, again, give us a call at 319-296-4440. Well, in the studio with us this morning, we have Miss Celeste Turner, the coordinator for continuing education, transportation, business, and community education for Hawkeye Community College. Good morning, Celeste.
Good morning, how are you?
Doing good. Thank you for joining us. Well, first of all, can you share with our listeners what you do for Hawkeye Community College?
I'm the coordinator out at the Regional Transportation Training Center. We have all sorts of short programs out there for the continuing ed. Can I tell you about a few?
Yes, yes.
Awesome. We just came up with a Class B CDL program. A Class B truck, it would be like a dump truck for the state of Iowa, or a dump truck for a construction company, a cement truck, any kind of truck like that, that shape. Class B, it's only a 4-week program, and it's competency-based, just like our Class A CDL program. The only difference is this one is 4 weeks, the other one is 6 weeks. But we have people knocking down our door trying to get people that already have the Class B CDL. They want to put them to work right away.
Oh, wow.
And I even have one company that's donating a truck for us to use just to get this program up and going.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He is in a big hurry. The state of Iowa is in a big hurry because this would be perfect for snowplow. You would be in with the state and already have a job with them. They're there's just so many opportunities with this Class B.
Now, with, I know there's several different classes for CDL. The one that most people usually have mentioned in the past is that the Class
Class A.
A? Okay.
Yes.
So now, the Class A and B, what's the differences? Is it like size difference of the vehicle you can handle, or?
Yes, the Class A would be more the semi, and
Oh,
that
okay.
opens up your opportunities a lot more with the Class A. But the Class B is only 4 weeks, and a lot of the companies just want the Class B. That's the minimum that
Okay.
you need.
Oh, see, a lot of people don't know that.
Right, and if you have a Class A, you can also drive a Class B vehicle.
Okay.
You can drive both, where a Class B, you can only drive the Class B vehicle. But cement companies, the state of Iowa, the dump truck companies, the minimum is the Class B.
Oh, okay, I'm so glad you mentioned that, because now I can share with people, because a lot of times they think for anything that's truck, gotta have my Class A. But they may only need to take the 4-week program
Right.
with the Class B, and they'll be able to get into what they're looking at getting into. Okay.
Right, and with it being a competency-based program, you would be able to get done in less than the 4 weeks if you put the time in.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So, and we have so many people that are willing, but like the other day, I had a company stop by, the company that's bringing us a cement truck to use,
Mhm.
which is awesome.
Yes.
But they needing drivers so badly. So he says, as soon as anybody passes, give them my name.
Wow. Well, I don't know the name of the company, but I do want to say, whoever you are, thank you very much, and this is fantastic and exciting news, and your gift is just fantastic. Now, for the Class B CDL, are there any prerequisites?
All we ask is basically if they have passed the DOT physical, the pre-employment drug test, and if they've gone and gotten their general knowledge and the air brake. And the only reason we say the air brake is most of the trucks will need air brakes.
Okay.
Some out there, like the little cube vans, some of those don't need air brakes.
Okay.
But for this company that's donating us this truck to use, and for the Iowa DOT, they need the air brakes on their CDL.
Okay. Now, is that a separate class, or do they get that in this program?
It's an endorsement. When they go down to the DMV, they just need to take the general knowledge and air brake and get their permit.
Okay.
And then they can start to us, they'll be ahead of the game. But if they come and they don't have that already done, we will help them study for it. So we'll cover both areas there. But if they have it done ahead of time, they're just ahead of the game.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, what's the cost for this program?
$1,999, so $2,000.
Okay,
Just easier to round it to 2, I'm sorry.
gotcha. Now, are there any scholarships or programs available to help defer the cost?
Not yet, we're working on gap funding. But that'll be coming down the line.
Okay, and that gap funding has been a lifesaver for so
Yes.
many people with the different programs. And what's really neat is, they get the funding to complete the program, and then they make really good wages once they've completed one of the programs, and you can't beat that.
No, and the only problem with the Class B is their background. As long as they have got a good driving record, they will be hired right away. And what we try to do is we try to find out what their background is and their driving record, because if it looks like no one's going to hire them, we don't want them to go through the program and waste their time and their
Right.
money. But if it looks like someone will, which a lot of them are hiring them right before they graduate. I mean, with the Class A, and I know it's gonna be that way with this Class B.
Yes. Now, is there anything on a driving record that would just completely torpedo, like an OWI or something, will that just completely kill their chance?
If it is within the last, I'd say 5 years,
Okay,
it would
Okay.
torpedo them. A felony, depending on the felony. If it's old, if it's over 5 years, it's questionable. So
Okay.
you never know. But I like to check with companies before they even take the program to make sure that they'd be hireable.
gotcha. And that's a good thing too, because I think then a person may get into that situation and say, okay, well, it's not realistic that I'll be able to get hired in this field, what else do you got? And with Hawkeye
Great.
Community College, it's almost unlimited what we have to offer.
Yeah, the doors are just open.
Yes, definitely. Now, one more question regarding this particular program too. What are some of the typical wages that a person would be looking at? And say, for instance, they finish this and they get hired on somewhere driving a dump truck.
Oh, I would say roughly between 25 and 35,000 a year, right in there. Because a lot of times, some of these dump truck companies, or cement truck companies, you know, you might have to go spend the night, a couple nights
Mhm.
on the road. Some of them you don't. It all depends on the company you get with. But
Okay.
we have companies really begging for these people. State of Iowa begging for people with a Class B to drive their snowplow trucks.
Wow.
And just think, if you get in with the state of Iowa,
Yeah, you're sitting pretty good for a career, you know?
Right.
Not just a job, a career. Well, what else do you have over there?
well, we have the heavy equipment 10-day training for women and minorities. Now that our last class starts June 19th, but you have to fill out an application before that. So you can just call out to the Regional Transportation Center and we can send you an application. And we've been trying to meet with these people before the orientation because I want to make it clear that they have to be there the full 10 days.
Yes.
And you do this 10-day women and minorities, and it's free to the public. Because the
Can't
state
beat
of
that.
Iowa is paying for this, and you get the Class B CDL, you're gonna be in pretty good with the state of Iowa.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So they kind of go hand in hand, or even with, if you don't go to the state of Iowa, if you go to a construction company, or you go to even the cement company,
Yes.
both go hand in hand.
Now, will these licenses, are they transferable across state lines? So,
The Class B, yes, that is good everywhere.
wow.
The heavy equipment, women and minorities, you will end up with a OSHA safety training card and a flagger certificate out of that, and that's good everywhere too.
Yes.
But the 10-day heavy equipment, women and minorities, it is so exciting, all the stuff that they learn on that. I mean, we get to use the simulators, we have
Oh,
construction
wow.
simulators, and it's hands-on with all the equipment. Anybody who's curious, they can just even drive by the RTT Center and see the heavy equipment in the distance they're working.
And again, it's free, right?
It's free, absolutely
Can't beat
free.
that.
I just need people to fill out an application and stop in and see us. We'll set up a time for them to come and see us before the orientation, because I want to make sure people understand they have to be there the 10 days.
And that's not a bad
No.
commitment, at all.
No, 10 days from 8 to 5, and an hour off for lunch, and 2 weeks. We're talking 2 weeks, that's all the time you need, and I'm sure that someone's going to hire you because of the OSHA safety training and the flagger certificate.
Yeah.
We try to help you find a job.
Oh,
We just need the bodies to sit in the seats.
and again, listeners, I mean, if you think about it, that's, that 10-day commitment, there's really nothing else I can think of that asks you to commit just 10 days, that you can go out and you have some credentials behind you that, really increases your, employability, and then to be able to just knock it out in that 10 days and then go out there and make good money, and then also have something now under your belt, and you could maybe even in the future, once you have really established yourself financially where you want to be, you can look to go back to school to build on, all of those credentials and skills that you've obtained. Would you agree that's, a good, direction to go?
Yeah, if you do the 10-day heavy equipment, women and minorities, and you find out that you really love the construction equipment, we have the credit side has a CEO class,
Wow.
which is construction equipment operator, and it's a 1 year, I believe it's a 1 year credential. And we had, last year when he had that going on, he had excavating companies come over, construction companies come over and hire the students before they even graduated.
That's one of the things I love about these programs, because as you probably know, we used to offer one of the highway construction, core construction classes at the MLK Center, and had the CDL piece attached to it. And what was so exciting, because I was new to it, so I didn't know that a lot of times when you bring in these employers to kind of share what, the students will need to, really focus in on in this program, that they end up offering jobs right there in the spot. And so we had students, like you said, who hadn't even completed yet, and the employers were basically saying, okay, here's a conditional offer. The conditions are you complete this, program that you're almost done with now, and that you pass the drug screening, and then we want you to come on board with us. And so we have these students with like 3 or 4 job offers on the table, and they weren't even done yet.
That's the wonderful part of this, is the students are sitting there in the driver's seat, basically, in a matter of speaking, where the employers are coming in and explaining to them, this is what I've got to offer you, or this is what I've got to offer to you, and the student decides which is the
Yes.
better offer for their lifestyle.
Yes, that's just incredible. And, it's a good segue to something I like to mention every show. Hawkeye Community College has a way of assessing, engaging those community needs, and then finding programming to meet those needs. And if the programming doesn't exist, Hawkeye tends to build it from scratch, from the ground up. Would you agree?
Yes, because I just got all done with this Class B, getting it done, and we don't even have it in the catalog or anything yet.
Wow.
The first day for the Class B is going to be June 1st, and I've already had 3 people call me and ask about signing up, and when I tell them June 1st is the first class, oh man.
Now, what else do you have over in your area?
We also have motorcycle right now.
Fun.
And we've got the BCR, which is the Basic Rider Course.
Okay.
And that's a 3-day, Friday night, Saturday morning, or Saturday afternoon, and then Sunday morning or Sunday afternoon. So 3 days.
Mhm.
And they get their light, if they pass everything, they get a little certificate that they take down to the DMV. They take a permit test down there and they hand them the card and they have got their motorcycle license.
Oh, and again, how many days?
3 days, a Friday night, Saturday morning, and Sunday morning, or Friday night, Saturday afternoon, and Sunday afternoon.
And that quick, that easy?
Yeah.
Wow.
That quick, that easy. We have the BRC, which is the Basic Rider Course, motorcycle. We have the RRBRC, which is a returning rider course, which I believe that is a 1-2 day deal. And then we have a 3-wheel Basic Rider Course.
Oh, so now, if you get your motorcycle's license, there's a separate license for the 3-wheelers?
If you have a motorcycle license, you can drive a 3-wheeler.
Okay.
But if you have no motorcycle license, and say you're an older gentleman or older woman and you just want to drive a 3-wheeler, but you don't want to go through the Basic Rider Course,
Mhm.
you can just take the 3-wheel course.
Oh, really? Okay. I never knew that.
But then that's all you can drive,
Mhm.
is that 3-wheeler.
And those 3-wheelers, are they street legal or whatever?
Yep.
Oh, they
Yes.
are, okay. Because I don't see that many, operating on the street, so I didn't know if like they had, certain requirements, like, really you can only drive it on the street if you're going toward a work site or whatever, but, so they're actually just street legal then?
Yeah, we have a motorcycle company that lets us use some 3-wheelers. And it's really nice because you're supposed to have your own 3-wheeler when you come to the course.
Oh,
But
okay.
if you don't, we can borrow some from some of the companies around here.
That's nice.
But we can't borrow a lot.
Okay.
And we can only borrow them for the weekend, so they can get a taste of it. Because say that you're wondering, okay, what is it like to drive a 3-wheeler? I don't have a motorcycle license, but I always wondered. That would be the place to come, try it, see if you like it.
Really?
Yeah, or even to the motorcycle companies around here.
Mm-hmm.
If you stop at their stores, I'm sure that they would let you try it, sit on it, maybe go around their building
Mhm.
to see if you like it.
Okay.
But the 3-wheel course, you really need to know how to ride a bicycle before you come to any of these courses.
Right. Now, with the 3-wheeler, this is kind of a more in-depth question, but just interested in knowing. Do you have to shift the gears like you do with the motorcycle?
They have some automatics and they have some that are not. So
Really?
it
Okay.
depends on what kind you get.
Because I'm a former motorcycle rider.
Oh,
It's been
okay.
several years. Last time I owned one was, I think, 9th grade, so that's been a long time ago. But what's the cost for the class? Because I know it's a popular class. I remember Marty told me that he's always got numbers, but a better question is, for a person that's interested in more information and maybe want to get cost and, different things, who would they contact?
You can either get on the Hawkeye website, or you can call the Cedar Falls the Hawkeye Community College in Cedar Falls.
Okay.
Or even if you can't find that number, you can call me out at the RTTC Center,
Okay,
and I can always direct you to the right place. Our phone number is 319-296-4286.
great.
And you can call out there, and I can send you to the right person for anything.
Fantastic. Now, what else do you have over in your area that you offer?
We also are going to be having a flagger training and a telehandler equipment training and a telescopic platform lift equipment training. So these are some new trainings that are just starting.
Okay,
You can find them online, or if you call me, I can send you to the right person on that also.
okay,
But I get a lot of phone calls where they'll have questions, but they don't know which building to call,
got
which
it.
is not a problem. I can run through a lot of this type of stuff.
Okay, good. Now, I know with the flagger training, I was told some years ago that a person, to get a flagger job, you don't necessarily have to have the training, but if you do, it kind of bumps you up on that higher list because you have the actual training and experience. Is that still the case?
Yes, just like the heavy equipment, women and minorities, they'll get the flagger training is included in that, so they'll have the flagger certificate on that also.
Great.
So besides that, so if you have someone that's working out there and you just want to be a flagger and you don't want to mess with the 10-day women and minorities, you can come and do our flagger training and get a certificate out of it also.
And how long does that training last?
That is 1-day session,
Oh, okay.
8 to 5.
Well, see, that's another great thing about the programs that are offered at Hawkeye. Of course, you can, commit the time to do a lot of it for credit programming, but if you're a person that, say for instance, really don't want to commit, a couple of years at this point, because you really want to get into the workforce right away, we have all these fantastic programs like the ones you mentioned and many more that allow you to just commit a short amount of time and get the type of, certificates and credentials and diplomas that will allow you to make really decent money,
Yeah.
coming into a different company. And that's one of the things that I think was advantageous when we had the big economic crisis, and you had people who have been working at companies for, 20 years, all of a sudden, lost their jobs. They were able to come to Hawkeye and take some of these programs that allowed them to get right back in the workforce right away without really missing a beat too much.
Well, excuse me, if you have someone that is in high school, just graduating, and they're thinking, well, I can't go out of the state with a CDL. No, you can't, but by getting your Class A or your Class B right now, you can get the year's experience
Yes.
that you need for some of those companies to be knocking down your door, wanting to hire you.
Yes.
And the same with the heavy equipment. If you're just graduating high school and you want to do the heavy equipment, women and minorities, you get your feet in to see if you like this. If you like
Yes.
this, then you can go on to the CEO,
Yes.
or you can get a job and still go on to something else to better yourself.
Yes.
So you're out in the workforce right away and still do the Class A or the Class B to better yourself, but yet you're out there making some money right now.
Yes, and it's kind of neat because it introduces a person to, okay, college, post-secondary opportunities, and so for the person who might even think, because a lot of times I've seen students that have said, well, I'm going to take one of these programs, one of these short-term training programs, but I don't know if I'm even going to really be able to complete it because I don't think I'm that smart. And they get in there, and next thing you know, they're doing so good, and they're like, I didn't know I could do this, and this is actually college. So then they complete this, get into the workforce, and then we end up seeing them again. They're like, I'm back, and now I'm building on what I did earlier. And sometimes they come back for a totally different field, but it's just the fact that they were able to complete something at a college and found out that they were way smarter than they gave themselves credit for.
Well, yeah, and there's so, like the 10-day women and minorities. take 10 days out of your busy schedule
Mhm.
and get a job with it. After you complete the 10-day women and minority, you get a job with a construction company, just even for the summer, if they're
Yes.
only around here and you don't want to travel. You know,
Mhm.
though, there you really have to look, but we can find things like that. And then say you want to go on to the Class A CDL or the Class B, and you start putting all these things together,
Yes.
you're gonna make yourself so desirable to any construction
Yes.
company, trucking company, the cement company,
Yes.
cement and truck company. I mean, it opens your doors and it beats the heck out of being a cashier.
Exactly.
And no offense to cashiers, because that's hard work,
Right.
but
But
this
it's
is.
not for everyone. you
No,
know?
it's not.
And one of the things that Marty Kronicke
Mhm.
shared with me was that even when you look at truck and transportation, the trucking industry, he said, is about to be around 400 or 400,000, 400,000 or 450,000 drivers short due to people aging out and not really having another generation of people looking at getting into that field. So you talk about job opportunities, they're plentiful now, and they're about to become even more plentiful
Yes.
in that area. And you know, when you have a scarcity of employees out there, potential employees for this industry, that means there's going to be some additional changes, because I guess there's already been some changes in how the companies structure, even, you know, taking loads, he said, because in order to make it more attractive, you have more companies now getting the drivers back home, you know, 3 nights out of the week instead of being gone for, whole week or a month at a time. You know, they're back every week at home, and I guess some of the pay has increased in order to make it more attractive. So folks that are interested or have a slight interest in, being road warriors, now is the time to really jump on that.
Well, and 25, 30 years ago, when I was a dispatcher, drivers were more plentiful,
Mm-hmm.
but they were all an older generation than I was then.
Mm-hmm.
And when you consider all of them gentlemen are out of the trucking field now,
Yes,
so we need new blood out there.
yes. So, some great and exciting programming and opportunities. So we're coming up on the last minute or so of the show. I want to give you an opportunity to share any additional programs you want to share, or if there's some important dates for stuff coming up that you need people to know about, I want you to get a chance to share that, as well as some contact information. So with that being said, take it away, Celeste.
Okay, thank you, Warren.
You will.
I just want to try to impress upon people the heavy equipment, women and minorities. The last class, where it is free, starts June 19th, and you have to fill out an application ahead of time and come and talk to us before you can be accepted into the program. The seats are filling up quickly, and our phone number is 319-296-4286. You can just call that number, talk to Mary. Mary can send you an application. We just need that back as soon as possible, because we only have a certain number of seats that we can fill.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do the heavy equipment, women and minorities, go right on to the Class A or Class B. Class B is our new 4-week CDL course, where there are cement truck companies, and I can't stress that enough, the cement truck companies,
Yes.
because that is so nice of him to donate us a truck. It's
Yes.
not here yet, but it is coming to practice on. But you got the state of Iowa, that paid for the heavy equipment, women and minorities, and they're looking for Class B people, plus motorcycle, plus we've got the flagger training, the telehandler training, and the telescopic platform lift training coming up. So we have a wide variety of classes hopefully to fulfill everyone's needs.
Fantastic. And then for people that want more information, what number should they call?
319-296-4286.
Fantastic. Well, I want to thank you again for being my guest this morning. You shared some great information and some exciting programming. Listeners, you heard it here first. Take advantage of these opportunities, especially being that, for the most part, we talked about programs that are free. And then the ones that aren't free, there's always an opportunity or a way to figure out how to get it covered and taken care of. So if there's one that we talked about that isn't free and you're like, well, I can't afford it, don't go there just yet. Give us a call at the MLK Center at 319-296-4440, and we may be able to find a way to still make it happen for you. So until next time, enjoy this great weather. You've been listening to Opening Doors. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Warren.
You're welcome.
I did better this time, didn't I?
You did great. You did great the first time.
No, the first time I was so stinking nervous, I was sitting here shaking like crazy.
But see, they can't see you shake.
No, but I could hear it in my voice.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I'm terrified every time I do this show. I don't like.
Do you need some more of that?
Yes, because actually what I had started doing was running the flimsy paper copy versions.
Okay.
Hi there. But yeah, every time I